To completely reshape your world and your experience of life, consider for a moment your current state. Perhaps you find yourself facing challenges, feeling that things often go against you, or maybe you've experienced some successes, but still feel that life is a constant struggle. Wherever you are, say unto you, you are exactly where you need to be to grasp this life. Altering criticism. But what does it mean to act as if everything always works out for you? It is not a matter of blind optimism or denying the challenges you face. It is a state of consciousness, a shift in perception that aligns you with the creative power of the universe. It is about recognizing that your outer world is nothing more than a reflection of your inner assumption. Let us delve deeper into this profound truth. Your outer world, every experience you have, every circumstance you encounter, is nothing more than a reflection of your inner world. It is a mirror faithfully reflecting back to you the sum total of your beliefs, assumptions, and most importantly, your dominant state of consciousness. When you understand this, truly understand it, you realize that by acting as if everything always works out for you, you are actively creating a reality where this is true. This understanding is crucial, for it shifts the entire paradigm of how you approach life. No longer are you a victim of circumstance, hoping that things will work out. You become the active creator of your reality, knowing that as you assume the state of one for whom everything works out, the universe must rearrange itself to match this assumption. But how? You may ask, does one adopt the state of consciousness? The answer lies in the power of your wonderful human imagination, for your imagination is not a mere fantasy maker. It is the very workshop in which reality is forged, when you use your imagination to feel the reality of being someone for whom everything always works out. You are not engaging in idle daydreaming. You are engaging in the most powerful creative act known to man. Let's take a moment to truly understand this. Your subconscious mind does not distinguish between what you vividly imagine and what you actually experience in the outer world. It accepts as true whatever you feel to be true. And once it accepts an idea as true, it proceeds to bring it into manifestation in your physical reality. So when you act as if everything always works out for you, when you assume this state in your imagination, you are not being delusional or engaging in wishful thinking. You are actively creating your reality from within. You are aligning yourself with the creative power of the universe, allowing it to work through you and for you. This, my dear listeners, is the essence of acting as if everything always works out for you. It is about recognizing that the power to shape your reality lies within you waiting to be expressed. It's about understanding that your outer world is nothing more than a reflection of your inner assumptions and feelings. Consider the biblical phrase, all things work together for good to them that love God. This is not about some external deity favoring certain individuals. It is about aligning yourself with the creative principle of the universe, which some call God, others call the subconscious mind, and others still call the law of assumption. When you love this principle, when you align yourself with it by assuming that everything works out for you, you set in motion forces beyond your comprehension that indeed make all things work together for your good. But let me be clear. The state of consciousness is not about passivity or simply wishing for good things to happen. It is about a fundamental shift in how you perceive and interact with the world. When you truly embody the state of one for whom everything works out, your actions naturally align with this assumption. You begin to see opportunities where others see obstacles. You approach challenges with confidence rather than fear. You make decisions from a place of assurance rather than doubt. Let us explore this further with an example. Imagine a person who constantly assumes that things will go wrong, that life is a struggle, that success is hard to come by. This person might hesitate to take risks, might approach new opportunities with skepticism, might give up easily in the face of setbacks, And in doing so, they create a reality that confirms their assumptions. They are living from the state of one for whom things don't work out. And so the universe faithfully reflects this state back to them. Now imagine the same person shifting their approach. Instead of assuming struggle and failure, they begin to act as if everything always works out for them. They feel the confidence, the ease, the assurance of someone who knows that no matter what happens, it will ultimately be for their good. They live each day from this feeling, carrying themselves with the certainty of someone for whom life always unfolds in the best possible way. In this state, they approach life differently. They see setbacks as temporary and ultimately beneficial. They view challenges as opportunities for growth. They make decisions boldly, trusting that things will work out. And in doing so, they begin to create a reality that matches this new assumption. They allow a life of ease and success to flow into their experience, drawn by the power of their new dominant state. This principle applies to every aspect of your life, whether you're dealing with relationships, career, health, or any other area. The key is to first assume the state of one for whom everything works out in that area. For what you are seeking is also seeking you, but it can only find expression through you when you align yourself with its frequency. Now, I can hear some of you thinking, but never. Isn't this just positive thinking? Isn't this denial of reality? And to this, I say emphatically no. This is not about denying your current circumstances. It is about understanding the true nature of reality and the creative power of your consciousness. Your current circumstances are nothing more than the fruit of your past assumptions and beliefs. They have no power to determine your future unless you give them that power by continuing to focus on them and feel their reality. When you shift your focus, when you assume a new state of consciousness, you are not denying reality. You are exercising your divine right to choose which reality you wish to experience. Remember, the outer world is dead. It has no life of its own. It is your consciousness that gives life to your experiences. When you react to circumstances as if things often go wrong, you are breathing life into a reality where things do indeed go wrong. But when you act as if everything always works out for you, you cause your outer world to rearrange itself to match this new inner conviction. This, my dear friends, is the true secret to creating a life where everything works out for you. It is about aligning yourself with the law of assumption, recognizing that your desired reality is seeking expression through you and allowing it to flow into your experience through the power of your imagination and feeling. But let me warn you, this shift in consciousness is not always an easy path. The old habits of reacting to circumstances, of letting your feelings be dictated by what you see, are deeply ingrained in our collective consciousness as you embark on this new way of being. You may find resistance arising within you. Doubts may creep in. Old patterns may try to reassert themselves. When this happens, do not fight against these thoughts and feelings. Simply observe them, acknowledge them, and then gently return to your new assumed state. For the war is not won by battling against what you don't want, but by persistently embodying the state of what you do want. This persistence, this unwavering faith in the face of contrary evidence, is what allows you to truly create a reality where everything always works out for you. Think of it like tuning a radio. When you're trying to listen to a particular station, you don't focus on eliminating all the other stations. You simply tune into the frequency you desire. In the same way, you don't need to fight against your current reality of forcefully push away thoughts of things not working out. You simply need to tune yourself to the frequency of one for whom everything works out, to align yourself with the feeling of being such a person. This tuning is done through your imagination and your ability to generate feeling states. Your imagination is the dial that allows you to tune into different frequencies of experience. As you use your imagination to assume the feeling of being someone for whom everything works out, you are tuning yourself to that frequency, allowing the corresponding experiences to flow into your life. But remember, my friends, this is not a one-time event. Acting as if everything always works out for you is a way of life. It's a constant choice to maintain the state of consciousness regardless of appearances. Just as you wouldn't expect to stay in shape by exercising once, you cannot expect to create a reality where everything works out by imagining it once. This is about persistently assuming the state, about living from this consciousness day in and day out until it becomes your new normal. As you do this, you will find that your perception of events begins to shift. What once seemed like setbacks or failures now appear as stepping stones or valuable lessons. You begin to trust in the perfect unfolding of your life, knowing that everything is always working out for your highest good. Now, some of you may be wondering, but Wayne, how can I maintain this state when things seem to be going wrong? How can I act as if everything is working out when I face real challenges? And to this I say, your imagination is more powerful than any circumstance. Consider for a moment, have you ever been deeply engrossed in a book or a movie? In those moments where you're not feeling real emotions based on imaginary events, your feelings were real, even though the events were not happening in your physical reality. This is the power you must harness to act as if everything always works out for you. You must use your imagination to create scenarios that evoke the feelings associated with everything working out. Imagine how you would feel if you knew, with absolute certainty, that every event in your life was ultimately for your good. Feel the peace, the confidence, the joy that would come with that knowledge. Feel these states as vividly and as consistently as you can. The key is to make these imaginal acts as real to you as possible. Engage all your senses. Feel the relief of knowing everything is working out. See the evidence of things working in your favor. Hear the conversations you would have if everything always worked out for you. Make it real in your mind, and the feelings will naturally follow. But here's a crucial point, my friends. The goal is not to imagine specific outcomes. The goal is to capture the essence of the feeling state associated with being someone for whom everything works out. For it is this feeling state that is the true attractor of your experiences. Let me illustrate this with an example. Suppose you're facing a challenging situation at work. Instead of imagining a specific resolution, capture the feeling essence of being someone for whom everything always works out. What does it feel like to approach challenges with complete confidence that they will resolve in the best possible way? How does it feel to know that no matter what happens, it will ultimately benefit you? What is the feeling of moving through life with the assurance that everything is always working in your favor? By focusing on the feeling essence rather than specific outcomes, you allow the universe to bring your desire to you in ways that might far exceed your specific imaginings. You open yourself to possibilities beyond what your current mindset can conceive. This is the true art of acting as if everything always works out for you. It's not about forcing yourself to believe something against all evidence. It's about tapping into the reality of this state in the only place it truly exists, in your consciousness. As you practice this, you may find that your outer world begins to shift in subtle ways. Perhaps opportunities you never noticed before suddenly seem to appear, or challenges resolve themselves in unexpected ways, or you find yourself feeling more at peace and confident regardless of external circumstances. These are all signs that your inner shift is creating ripples in your outer reality. Don't discount these small changes. Celebrate them. See them as confirmation that the law is working, that your assumption is taking root. But don't become attached to them or anxiously look for them. Simply acknowledge them with gratitude and continue to live from your assumed state of being someone for whom everything always works out. As you persist in this practice, larger changes will begin to manifest. You may find yourself naturally attracting favorable circumstances. You may notice that even seemingly negative events end up working out in your favor. And as you continue to act from this state of consciousness, you'll discover that life becomes an exciting adventure full of wonderful surprises and perfect unfoldings. But remember, the outer manifestation is not the goal. The goal is the state of consciousness from which the perfect unfolding of your life naturally flows. This is a crucial point, my friends, when you're truly acting as if everything always works out for you. When you're fully embodying this state, you no longer need external circumstances to confirm your assumption. You're already whole, already complete in your knowing that all is well. And paradoxically, it's in this state of inner assurance that you're most likely to experience a life where everything does indeed work out perfectly. Now, some of you might be thinking, but Wayne, what about taking action? Don't we need to do things in the physical world to make things work out? And to this I say, yes, action is part of the process. But it's inspired action, not anxious doing. When you're living from the state of one for whom everything works out, ideas and opportunities will naturally present themselves to you. You'll feel inspired to take certain actions, to move in certain directions. These actions won't feel like struggle or effort. They'll feel natural, joyful, almost effortless. This is the difference between making things happen and allowing them to happen. When you're trying to force outcomes, actions feel stressful, born out of fear and doubt. When you're acting as if everything always works out, actions flow naturally from your assumed state, guided by an inner wisdom that knows exactly how to bring about the best possible outcomes. Consider the example of a river. A river doesn't strain to reach the ocean. It doesn't force its way through obstacles. It simply flows, naturally finding the path of least resistance. You, my dear listeners, are no different. When you align yourself with the state of one for whom everything works out, you allow your life to flow naturally and effortlessly towards its highest good. But let me be clear. This state of allowing is not passive. It requires an active use of your imagination, a deliberate assumption of the feeling of being someone for whom everything works out. It requires faith, not blind faith in external circumstances, but faith in the creative power of your own consciousness. This faith is not about believing that things will work out someday in the future. It's about knowing that everything is already working out perfectly in the realm of imagination and that the outer world must inevitably conform to this inner reality. As you cultivate this faith, as you persist in your assumed state, you'll begin to see evidence of things working out in your outer world. These signs may start small, an unexpected solution to a problem, fortuitous meeting, a sudden insight that changes your perspective. Do not discount these signs, no matter how small they may seem. For they are confirmation that your inner world is indeed shaping your outer reality. There are breadcrumbs leading you to the full realization of a life where everything always works out for you. As we near the conclusion of our discussion, I want to address a common concern that arises when people first encounter this teaching. Many worry that if they fully embrace acting as if everything always works out, they'll become complacent or lose their drive to improve their circumstances. But I assure you, my friends, the opposite is true. When you're truly living from this state, you become more inspired, more creative, more willing to take inspired risks, because you know that no matter what happens, it will work out for your good. This isn't complacency. It's ultimate confidence. In this state, you're not driven by fear or lack, but by joy and an eagerness to see how wonderfully things will unfold. You take action not because you're trying to avoid negative outcomes, but because you're excited to participate in the perfect unfolding of your life. This is the true gift of acting, as if everything always works out for you. It's not just about creating favorable circumstances, although that will happen. It's about aligning yourself with the flow of life, with the creative power of the universe. It's about recognizing your own divine nature and allowing it to express itself fully through you. In this state of alignment, of knowing that everything always works out, you become a channel for the most beautiful expressions of life. Ideas flow to you effortlessly. Opportunities present themselves naturally. The right people and circumstances appear in your life at the perfect time. This is the magic of living from the state of your wish fulfilled. But remember, this magic is not something external to you. It's not some cosmic force that you need to appease or manipulate. It is the natural expression of your own consciousness when it's aligned with the truth of your being. You are the magic. You are the miracle. You are the one for whom everything always works out as we draw time together to a close. I want to leave you with a final thought. The principle we've explored tonight, act as if everything always works out for you, is not just a technique for creating better circumstances. It's about recognizing your true nature as a divine, creative being. It's about aligning yourself with the fundamental laws of the universe and allowing your grandest expression of life to flow through you. When you live from this understanding, everything changes. The world becomes a friendly place filled with infinite possibilities. You no longer see yourself as a small, separate being struggling against external forces. Instead, you recognize yourself as the creator of your reality, the author of your own perfect unfolding. In this state, there's no need to fear or worry, for you understand that everything, absolutely everything, is always working out for your highest good. Your job is simply to assume this state, to live from this consciousness, and to allow the universe to take care of the details. So, my dear friends, as you leave here tonight, I urge you to embrace this principle with all your heart. Don't see it as a technique to be applied occasionally, but as a way of life to be lived continuously. Use your mighty imagination to assume the state of one for whom everything always works out. Feel the naturalness of being such a person. Live from the state, persist in this assumption, and watch as your world rearranges itself to match your inner vision. Remember, you're not a helpless being pushed around by external circumstances. You are the operant power in your world. Your consciousness is the one and only reality. All things are possible to who believes, for belief shapes reality. In your journey of acting as if everything always works out for you, this belief becomes your guiding light, leading you unerringly to the realization of your perfect life. Go forth from here with this knowledge, apply it in your life, test it, prove it to yourself. For in doing so, you'll discover the truth of who you really are. You'll tap into the limitless power that has always been within you, and you will experience the joy, the freedom, the fulfillment that comes from living in alignment with the laws of creation. The world is waiting for you, my friends, not as a place of struggle or uncertainty, but as a playground of perfect unfoldment. It's waiting for you to recognize your true power, to step into your divine nature, to become the person who knows with absolute certainty that everything always works out. So start now. Feel the reality of being someone for whom everything always works out. Let this feeling permeate every aspect of your being. For in truth, you are already that person. You are already living in a reality where everything works out perfectly. All you need to do is open your heart, embrace this truth, and allow it to express itself more fully in your experience. Remember, the kingdom of heaven is within you. The perfect unfoldment of your life is within you. You are the miracle you've been waiting for. Embrace this truth, live from it, and watch as your world transforms before your eyes. Acting as if everything always works out for you is not a state of blind optimism, but a state of alignment with the fundamental truth of your being. Go forth now, my dear friends, and apply this principle in your lives. Act as if everything always works out for you. Feel the reality of this truth now before any external evidence appears. Live from that state. Persist in that assumption and watch as the world rearranges itself to match your inner knowing. For this is the true secret to creating a life of perfect unfoldment. And it is the key to realizing your highest potential as a divine, creative being. The world you see around you, the circumstances of your life, the very fabric of reality, all of it is but a reflection of your own consciousness. You are not a victim of your environment, but its creator. Every experience, every person, every object in your world is there because you have called it forth from the depths of your imagination. Consider for a moment the immense power that resides within you. The power to shape worlds, to manifest desires, to literally bring your dreams into tangible form. This power is not something external, not something to be gained or achieved. It is your very essence, your true nature, waiting to be recognized and embraced. Many will scoff at this idea, clinging desperately to their belief in limitation and struggle. They have been conditioned to see themselves as small, powerless beings at the mercy of an indifferent universe. But I tell you now with absolute certainty that this is the grandest illusion ever perpetrated upon humanity. You are not separate from the source of all creation. You are that source, individualized and expressing itself through the unique form that you call I. The I that you truly are is not the body you inhabit or the personality you constructed. It is the infinite, eternal awareness that animates all of existence. This awareness, this I am, is the foundation of all that is. It is the clay from which all experience is molded. And you in every moment are the sculptor. Your thoughts, your beliefs, your deepest convictions, these are the tools with which you shape your reality. Consider carefully the implications of this truth. If you are the creator of your world, then you hold within you the power to recreate it in any way you choose. The limitations you perceive, the obstacles you face, the lack you experience, all of these are but shadows cast by your own beliefs. To change your world, you need only change your conception of yourself. This is the great secret, the hidden wisdom that has been whispered through the ages. You are not what you appear to be. You are not your body, your thoughts, your emotions, or your circumstances. These are but costumes you wear, rules you play in the grand drama of existence. Your true identity is that of the dreamer, not the dream. You are the awareness in which all experience arises. And just as a dreamer can change the course of a night's vision, so too can you alter the very fabric of your waking reality. But how, you may ask, can one accomplish such a feat? The answer lies in the power of your imagination. Your imagination is not some frivolous fancy, a mere escape from reality. It is the very workshop of creation, the place where classical possible takes form before manifesting in the physical world. When you imagine, you are literally shaping the substance of the universe. The images you hold in your mind, the scenarios you play out in your imagination, these are the blueprints from which your future is constructed. This is why it is said that imagining creates reality, but it is not enough to merely visualize or daydream. To truly harness the power of your imagination, you must learn to feel the reality of your desire. You must enter so fully into the state of having your wish fulfilled that it becomes more real to you than your present circumstances. This is the art of living from the end. It is the practice of assuming the feeling of your wish fulfilled, of experiencing now what you desire to experience in the future. When you master this art, you will find that the universe rearranges itself to accommodate your new conception of reality. Many will dismiss this as mere positive thinking or self-delusion, but I assure you it is neither. It is the fundamental law upon which all creation operates. Just as a seed contains within it the pattern of the fully grown plant, so too does your imagination contain the pattern of your future experiences. The world you see around you now is the harvest of seeds planted in your imagination in the past. If you do not like what you see, then you must plant new seeds. You must cultivate a new age in your world, in the fertile soil of your mind. This is not a process that requires struggle or effort. In fact, the harder you try, the more you reinforce the belief that what you desire is difficult to attain. Instead, you must relax into the knowing that what you seek is already yours. Imagine for a moment that you are living in the end, that your desire has already been fulfilled. Feel the joy, the satisfaction, the sense of accomplishment that comes with having what you want. Let this feeling permeate every cell of your being. Breathe it in. Let it fill you completely. As you do this, you align yourself with the vibrational frequency of your desire. You become a perfect match for what you seek, and in doing so, you draw it into your experience. This is the law of attraction in its purest form. But remember, it is not the thing itself that you seek, but the thing that you believe the thing will give you. All desire is ultimately a desire for a state of being. You do not want money for the sake of people or digits in a bank account. You want the feeling of abundance, of freedom, of security that you believe money will provide. Once you understand this, you realize that you need not wait for anything external to change in order to experience what you desire. You can assume the feeling of the wish fulfilled now in this very moment. And as you do, you will find that the external world begins to shift and change to match your internal state. This is the true meaning of faith. It is not a blind belief in something outside of yourself, but an unshakable knowing of the power within you. It is the confidence to live from the end, to experience now what you desire to experience in the future. Most people live their entire lives never realizing this truth. They believe that their thoughts and feelings are reactions to the world around them, never understanding that the opposite is true. Your thoughts and feelings are the cause, not the effect of your experience. This is why most will ignore this message. It requires a complete reversal of everything they have been taught to believe about themselves and the nature of reality. It demands that they take full responsibility for their lives, relinquishing the comfort of victimhood and replacing their role as the author of their own story. But for those who are ready, for those who can feel the truth of these words resonating in the depths of their being, this message holds the key to unlimited possibility. It is an invitation to step into your true power, to claim your birthright as a creator of worlds. Imagine for a moment what your life would be like if you truly embraced this truth. What would change if you knew beyond all doubt that you could be, do, or have anything you desire? How would you move through the world if you understood that every person and circumstance in your life was there in response to your own consciousness? The possibilities are endless. You could reshape your body, transform your relationships, revolutionize your career, manifest abundance beyond your wildest dreams. There is no limit to what you can create once you understand and apply this principle. But it requires a shift in consciousness, a willingness to let go of old beliefs and embrace a new understanding of your standing or place in the universe. It demands that you release your attachment to the evidence of your senses and place your faith in the unseen reality of your imagination. This is not always easy. The habits of a lifetime do not dissolve overnight. You may find yourself falling back into old patterns of thought and behavior. But each time you catch yourself, each time you choose to redirect your attention to the truth of your being, you grow stronger in your new understanding. Remember, the outer world is a reflection of your inner state. If you find yourself facing challenges or setbacks, do not despair. These are simply opportunities for you to clarify your desires and strengthen your resolve. They are invitations to go deeper into the truth of who you really are. Every experience, whether perceived as positive or negative, is a gift. It is showing you where your consciousness is focused, revealing to you the beliefs and assumptions that are shaping your reality. Use these experiences as feedback, a signpost guiding you back to your true power. The practice of living from the end requires patience and persistence. You are reprogramming your subconscious mind, overriding years of conditioning with a new understanding of reality. This takes time, but the results are nothing short of miraculous. As you continue to assume the feeling of your wish fulfilled, as you persist in the assumption that you are who you want to be, you will begin to see evidence of new reality manifesting around you. Circumstances will align, opportunities will appear, people will enter your life, all in perfect harmony with your new self-concept. But do not make the mistake of looking to the outside world for confirmation of your inner work. The outer must conform to the inner, but it does so in its own time and in its own way. Your job is simply to maintain the feeling of the wish fulfilled, to live as though your desire has already been realized. This is where most people falter. They begin the work, they imagine their desire, they even manage to feel it as real feeling. But then they look to the outside world, and not seeing immediate results, they give up. They conclude that it doesn't work, never realizing that their lack of faith is precisely what prevented their desire from manifesting. Faith is not something you have, it is something you do. It is the active assumption that what you desire is already yours. It is the conviction that what you have imagined is more real, more true than what your senses are showing you. This kind of faith can move mountains, it can part seas, it can transform a life of lack and limitation into one of abundance and joy. But it requires dedication, it demands persistence, it calls for a willingness to stand firm in your conviction, even when the whole world seems to be telling you otherwise. Remember, the world you see now is the result of your past thoughts and beliefs. It is the harvest of seeds planted long ago. As you begin to plant new seeds in the fertile soil of your imagination, as you nurture them with the feeling of the wish fulfilled, you must be patient. Allow them time to grow, to take root, to break through the surface of your current reality. During this time, it may seem as though nothing is happening. The temptation to give up, to return to your old ways of thinking, will be strong. This is the moment when your faith is tested, when your commitment to your new understanding is challenged. But if you can persist, if you can maintain your assumption even in the face of apparent contradiction, you will witness a transformation so profound that it will seem like magic to those who do not understand the law by which you are operating. You will watch as your world rearranges itself to match your inner vision. People will respond to you differently, opportunities will present themselves, circumstances will align in ways you could never have planned or anticipated. And all of this will happen not through struggle or effort, but through the natural operation of universal law. This is the promise held within this message. It is the key to unlocking a life beyond your wildest dreams. But it requires a leap of faith, a willingness to trust in the unseen, to believe in the power of your own imagination. Most will ignore this message. They will dismiss it as fantasy, as wishful thinking, as yet another empty promise in a world full of disappointment. But for those who are ready, for those who can feel the truth of these words resonating in their very soul, it holds the potential to change everything. You stand now at a crossroads. Before you lies the path of limitation, of struggle, of living at the mercy of circumstances. It is the path most traveled, the one that society has conditioned you to follow. It is safe, familiar, and utterly devoid of magic. But there is another path, one that few dare to tread. It is the path of unlimited possibility, of conscious creation of living, delighting being that you truly are. It is a path that requires courage, that demands faith, that calls you to step into your true power. The choice is yours. You can continue to live as you have been, accepting the world as it appears to be. Or you can embrace this message, this truth, and begin the greatest adventure of your life, the journey of conscious creation. Remember, you are not bound by your past, by your circumstances, or by what others believe to be possible. You are limited only by your own imagination and your willingness to assume the feeling of your wish fulfilled. So I ask you now, what world do you wish to create? What life do you desire to live? What version of yourself do you long to become? Hold that vision in your mind. Feel it as real. Know it as truth. For in that moment of assumption, in that act of faith, you set in motion forces beyond your comprehension. You are the operant power in your world. You are the author of your own story. You are the creator of your own reality. This is the truth that most would ignore, but it is the truth that has the power to change everything. Embrace it. Become it. For in doing so, you step into the fullness of who you truly are, a divine being, infinite in potential, unlimited in possibility. This is your birthright. This is your true nature. This is the reality that awaits you if you have the courage to claim it. The world is waiting for you to awaken to your true power. It is longing for you to step into your role as a conscious creator. For as you transform your own life, you contribute to the transformation of all of humanity. Each person who awakens to this truth, who begins to live from this understanding, becomes a beacon of light in a world of shadows. They demonstrate through their own experience the unlimited potential that lies within each and every human being. Imagine a world where everyone understood this truth, where each person recognized their power as a creator. What kind of world would we create together? What miracles would we witness? What heights of achievement, of love, of harmony would we reach? This is the promise held within this message. It is not just about transforming your individual life, although that is where it begins. It is about participating in the evolution of human consciousness, about contributing to the awakening of our entire species. But it starts with you. It starts here now, in this moment of decision. Will you ignore this message, dismissing it as too good to be true? Or will you embrace it, allowing it to ignite within you the flame of possibility? The choice is yours. But know this, the very fact that you are hearing these words, that you have stayed with this message to this point, is no accident. You have called this knowledge to you, drawn it from the infinite field of possibility through your own readiness to receive it. You are ready for this truth. You are prepared to step into your power as a creator. You are on the threshold of a new life, a new understanding, a new way of being in the world. So take this message to heart. Let it sink deep into your consciousness. Allow it to transform your understanding of yourself and your place in the universe. For in doing so, you set in motion a chain of events that will reshape your entire world. Remember, the power is within you. The kingdom is within you. All that you seek, all that you desire, all that you long to be, it is already yours. You need only claim it, embrace it, live from it. This is the truth that most will ignore. But for you, dear listener, it is the key that will unlock the door to a life beyond your wildest dreams. It is the message that will change everything. So go forth now, armed with this knowledge, empowered by this understanding. Create boldly, life fully, love deeply. For you are the author of your own story, the creator of your own reality, the master of your own destiny. And in embracing this truth, in living from this understanding, you become a light unto the world, a beacon of hope, a living testament to the unlimited potential that resides within each and every human being. This is your moment. This is your time. This is your invitation to step into the fullness of who you truly are. Will you accept it? Will you embrace it? Will you allow it to transform your life and through you the world? The choice is yours. But know this, the universe is waiting with bated breath for your decision. For in your awakening, in your embrace of your true power, lies the seed of transformation for all of humanity. So choose wisely, choose boldly, choose now. For in this moment, in this decision, lies the power to change everything. And that, dear listener, is a power beyond measure, a gift beyond price, a truth beyond imagination. Embrace it, live it, become it. For in doing so, you fulfill your destiny, you claim your birthright, you step into the truth of who you really are. And in that moment, everything changes, everything. The power to change your life lies within you. Your imagination shapes reality. What you assume and feel to be true will manifest. Most dismisses as fantasy clinging to limitation. But you can choose different. Embrace your true nature as a creator. Live from the end, feeling your desires as already fulfilled. Your inner state creates your outer world. Persist in faith even when circumstances seem unchanged. This truth can transform everything. You are not bound by the past or others' beliefs. You are limited only by your imagination and willingness to assume your wish fulfilled. What life do you wish to create? Hold that vision, feel it as real. You set forces in motion beyond comprehension. You are the author of your story, the creator of your reality. This message holds the key to unlimited possibility. Will you ignore it or embrace your power? The choice is yours, but you are ready for this truth, prepared to step into your creative power. Let this understanding transform you. Create boldly, live fully, love deeply, become a light to the world, demonstrating humanity's potential. This is your moment to claim who you truly are. The universe awaits your decision. In embracing your power lies the seed of transformation for all. Choose now. For in this moment is the power to change everything. Embrace it, live it, become it. Fulfill your destiny as a conscious creator. And in that moment, everything changes. Everything. Consider for a moment what are circumstances. They are but shadows, fleeting images projected onto the screen of space by the light of your consciousness. They have no substance of their own. They are dead, powerless things until you breathe life into them through your attention. I tell you with absolute certainty that the whole vast world is yourself pushed out. Every circumstance, every condition, every person you encounter is but yourself in a different guise. When you truly grasp this, you will understand that to change your world, you need only change yourself, your inner talking, your assumptions, your feeling about yourself. Let me share with you what I mean. Many of you sit here tonight surrounded by circumstances you do not desire. Perhaps you face financial lack, illness, loneliness, or unfulfilling work. And you say to me, but Wayne, these are facts. How can I deny what my senses show me? I say to you, facts are but the fruit of past assumptions. They have no power to perpetuate themselves unless you continue to water them with your attention. You see, consciousness is the only reality. When you fully grasp this truth, you will know that circumstances are not the cause. They are the effect. Your inner conversations, your feeling about yourself, your assumptions, these are the cause. Change these, and you must change the outer picture. Let me tell you something profound. Your consciousness is God, not a God in some distant heaven, but the only God. The one and only creator of your experience, I am, is God. When you say I am, you are proclaiming the name of God. And whatever you attach to that mighty name becomes your reality. Now, many of you have been taught to look at circumstances and let them dictate your inner state. This is living in complete opposition to the divine pattern. You have taken the shadow for the substance. You have given power to powerless things. Tonight, I tell you, stop it. Stop it now. Instead, I urge you to live from the end. What do I mean by this? I mean to assume the feeling of your wish fulfilled. If you desire wealth, you must feel wealthy now, regardless of your bank account. If you desire health, you must feel healthy now, regardless of the doctor's report. If you desire love, you must feel loved now, regardless of your current relationships. For you see, feeling is a secret. It is not enough to merely think about your desire or to speak words of affirmation. You must feel it real. You must clothe yourself in the feeling of the wish fulfilled until it becomes your dominant state. Let me share a principle that has transformed countless lives. Whatever you assume to be true, if persisted in, will harden into fact. This is an immutable law. It cares not whether your assumption is good or bad, positive or negative. It will work with the same mathematical precision either way. Consider this. Right now, in your imagination, you can step into the state of your wish fulfilled. You can feel it real. You can sleep in that state tonight. And as you persist in this feeling, the outer world must reshape itself to match your inner assumption. It has no choice, for the outer world is yourself pushed out. I tell you, circumstances are like clay in the hands of your consciousness. They have no fixed reality. They are fluid, malleable, responsive to your inner state. But you must withdraw your attention from the unwanted circumstance. Give it no power. Grant it no reality. Instead, place all your attention on the feeling of your wish fulfilled. Lie from that state. Sleep in that state. Let that be your reality. For whatever you feel is real, the outer world must confirm. Let me tell you of the law that governs all manifestation. Imagination creates reality. Not sometimes, not occasionally, but always. Every moment of your life, you are using this law, whether consciously or unconsciously. Your present circumstances are the result of your past imagining. But here is the liberating truth. You are free to change your imagining at any moment. You are free to assume a new state. You are free to feel a new reality. And as you do, the outer world must follow suit. Many of you say, "But Wayne, my circumstances are too powerful. They overwhelm me." I say to you, circumstances have only the power you give them through your attention and belief. They are like scenes in a movie. Would you sit in a theater and believe that the images on the screen have power over you? Of course not. Yet you do this very thing with the circumstances of your life. Remember this, your attention is your life. Whatever you place your attention upon, you give life to. Whatever you withdraw your attention from must wither and die in your world. This is the law. So I tell you, withdraw your attention from unwanted circumstances. Give them no life. Instead, place your attention fully and completely on the feeling of your wish fulfilled. Live in the end. Feel it real. And watch as the outer world reshapes itself to match your inner assumption. Let me share with you a profound secret. The feeling of the wish fulfilled is the secret of creation. God's name is I Am. Whatever you attach that mighty name, you give life to. When you say, "I'm poor," you are creating poverty. When you say, "I am wealthy," you are creating wealth. But it must be felt, not merely spoken. Your inner conversations are creating your reality. What are you saying to yourself throughout the day? What assumptions are you making about yourself and your world? These inner conversations are more important than any outer action you might take. For you see, action does not produce the state of consciousness you desire. Rather, the state of consciousness produces the corresponding action. Change your state of consciousness, and the actions that lead to your desire will flow naturally and effortlessly. I tell you this, circumstances are powerless to prevent the fulfillment of your desire if you will but assume the feeling of the wish fulfilled and persist in that assumption. The whole vast world will conspire to assist you when you live from the end. Consider this: every moment of your life you are in a state. You may be in a state of wealth or poverty, health or illness, love or loneliness. And whatever state you are in has its own internal logic, its own inner conversations, its own assumptions about what is possible and what is not. But you are not bound to any state unless you consent to remain in it. You are free at any moment to move to a new state. How? By assuming the feeling of the wish fulfilled, by living from the end, by making your desire state more real to you than your present circumstances. Let me tell you something that you understand. Your present circumstances are nothing more than your past thoughts and feelings made visible. They have no power to create your future unless you continue to think and feel from them. Instead, you must think and feel from the end. If you desire wealth, you must think and feel as a wealthy person would. If you desire health, you must think and feel as a healthy person would. If you desire love, you must think and feel as a loved person would. This is not pretense or self-deception. This is the creative use of imagination, which is God in action. For imagination creates reality. This is the law. Many of you say, "But Wayne, how can I feel wealthy when my bills are unpaid? How can I feel healthy when my body shows illness? How can I feel love when I am alone?" I say to you, you must be willing to deny the evidence of your senses and live entirely in the feeling of your wish fulfilled. For you see, your senses show you only the world that was the fruit of past assumptions. They cannot show you what can be, only imagination can show you that. And imagination, being God in you, is more real than any sensory evidence. Let me share with you a principle that will transform your life. What you feel is real in effect. The outer world must conform to your inner feeling. This is law, but you must persist in the feeling. You must not be like the man who, having prayed for rain, goes out carrying an umbrella but soon discards it because he sees no clouds. Instead, you must be like the man who, having imagined the end, lives completely in that end regardless of appearances. He knows that appearances are shadows having no power of their own. He gives his attention and allegiance only to the desired end, knowing it must externalize itself in his world. Consider this: every moment of time is a door through which your assumption might pass into manifestation, but you must feel it real. You must live from it. You must sleep in the assumption that your desire is already fulfilled. For sleep, my dear friends, is the time when your assumptions are impressed most deeply upon your subconscious mind. As you fall asleep, feeling your wish fulfilled, you are engaging the creative power of the universe to bring your desire into manifestation. Let me tell you of the power of persistent assumption. Whatever you assume to be true, if persisted in, will become your reality. This is not positive thinking or wishful thinking. This is the creative power of God in action, for you are God in expression. Your consciousness is the only reality. Whatever you are conscious of being, you become. This is the law, but you must persist in your assumption until it feels natural to you, until it becomes your predominant state of consciousness. Many of you fail in your desires because you do not persist. You assume the feeling of your wish, fulfilled for a moment, but then return to your old state when circumstances appear unchanged. I tell you, circumstances are the last to change. They are the fruit, not the root. The root is your consciousness, your feeling, your assumption. Change these persist in the new assumption, and the circumstances must change. They have no choice, for the outer world is yourself pushed out. Let me share with you a secret of manifestation. Your desire is already fulfilled in what I call the fourth dimensional world of consciousness. Your task is not to make it happen, but to match your feeling state with its fulfillment now. For you see, time is purely psychological. The future exists now in your consciousness. By feeling your desire is fulfilled now, you are actually moving into that future state. You are claiming it as present fact in your consciousness. Remember this, the feeling of the wish fulfilled is the secret. Not tomorrow, not next week, not when circumstances change, but now. Feel it real now. Live from that feeling now, sleep in that feeling now, and watch as the outer world, which has no choice but to express your inner state, begins to reshape itself to match your assumption. This is the law, and it cannot fail. Let me tell you something profound about the nature of consciousness. It is the only reality. Everything you see, everything you experience, is but the out-picturing of your states of consciousness. Change your consciousness, and you change everything. But you must understand this: consciousness is not mere surface thinking. It is not affirmations or positive thinking. Consciousness is the sum total of your assumptions, beliefs, inner conversations, and most importantly, you're feeling out yourself and your world. To master your reality, you must master your consciousness. You must become deliberate in what you accept as true. You must become selective in what you give attention to. For whatever you give attention to, you give life to. Consider this: every moment of your life you are accepting certain things as true. You are having inner conversations that support these acceptances. You are feeling certain things about yourself and your world. This is your state of consciousness. But I tell you this, you are free to change your state at any moment. You are free to revise your inner conversations. You are free to assume a new feeling about yourself and your world. And as you do, the outer world must conform to your new assumption. Let me share with you the secret of living from the end. It is to completely ignore present circumstances while maintaining the feeling of your wish fulfilled. This requires spiritual maturity. It requires the ability to deny the remnants of your senses and live entirely in the reality of your assumption. For you see, circumstances are only facts if you continue to give them attention and believe in their reality. The moment you withdraw your attention and place it fully on your desire fulfilled, circumstances lose their power to persist. Remember this: your attention is your life. Whatever you place your attention upon grows in your world. Whatever you withdraw your attention from must wither and die in your world. This is the law. So I tell you, give no attention to unwanted circumstances. They are shadows having no substance of their own. Instead, place all your attention on the feeling of your wish fulfilled. Live from that feeling. Sleep in that feeling. Make it more real to you than any sensory evidence. Let me tell you of the power of assumption. It is literal in its working. Whatever you assume to be true, whatever you feel is real, must externalize itself in your world. This is not magic or mysticism. This is the law of consciousness. But you must persist. You must not be like those who assume their desire for a day or a week and then return to their old state when circumstances seem unchanged. Remember, circumstances are the last to change. They are the fruit of your assumption, not the cause of it. Consider this: every moment of your life you are in a state, and whatever state you are in has its own inner talking, its own feeling tone, its own set of assumptions about what is possible and what is not. But you are not bound to any state unless you continue to occupy it through your attention and feeling. You are free at any moment to move to a new state. How? By assuming the feeling of your wish fulfilled and persisting in that assumption until it becomes your dominant state. Let me share with you a principle that few understand. The outer world is dead, powerless until you animate it with your consciousness. It has no power to create your future unless you granted that power through your attention and belief. Instead of accepting the outer world as cause, recognize it as effect, the effect of your past assumptions and beliefs. Then turn your attention to the feeling of your wish fulfilled, knowing that this new assumption must in time become your outer reality. Remember this: consciousness is the only reality. What you are conscious of being, you become. This is the law. But you must be constant in your assumption. You must not waver between states. For you see, the law is impersonal. It does not care whether your assumption is positive or negative, constructive or destructive. It will work with equal precision either way. Your task is to choose wisely what you will assume and then persist in that assumption. Let me tell you something profound about the nature of desire. The very existence of a desire indicates the existence of the means for its fulfillment. For desire is guarding you, urging you to express more of what you truly are. But you must understand this: the fulfillment of desire comes not through outer action, but through inner assumption. Change your assumption about yourself and your world, and you change everything. Consider this: every moment of your life is a fresh opportunity to assume a new state. You are not bound by your past unless you choose to be. You are free at any moment to assume the feeling of your wish fulfilled and live from that assumption. This is the end of my message to you tonight. Remember, circumstances have no power over you unless you grant them that power through your attention and belief. Live from the end, feel it real, persist in your assumption, and watch as the outer world reshapes itself to match your inner state. For this is the law, and it cannot fail. You are the operant power in your world. You are the God of your universe. What you assume must externalize itself in your world. Choose wisely what you will assume and persist until it becomes your reality. The power is within you. Use it wisely, use it lovingly, use it now.